In this episode, Dale and Val speak to Charlotte Candy, who will be presenting at the Project Controls Expo virtual this September. She will be presenting about the application of games mechanics to improve engagement and understanding of risk management frameworks. For more information, visit projectcontrolsexpo.com to grab a ticket to the expo. And for more in-depth information on the podcast, visit projectchatterpodcast.com. Now, on with the pod.
Hi, Charlotte Candy. Welcome to the show. Now, tell us, what can we expect from your presentation? I love the title of this, by the way. The application of games or game mechanics to improve engagement on risk. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Of course. So games get a really bad rap. But when we're at school, we do games, we learn through games, we learn skills, etc. But risk management is a very dry topic, and I find that games mechanics are some of the best methods to get people involved throughout the process. So
100%.
any level of the risk management framework, this can be at the beginning, the middle, or the end. There is no limitations in my eyes of where this can be applied.
I think this is super, super cool. I don't think I've ever heard at the Project Controls Expo anything quite as much fun. Dale, you?
No, I haven't either. I'm looking forward to this presentation, but let's give the listeners a bit of a taster, Charlotte, why don't we? Because
let's do it.
I actually think that we should gamify everything around projects. But if we had to start with risk, right, how do we start without giving away your full presentation, obviously? But if there was an appetizer, if this was the appetizer before the main course at the expo, what is this appetizer that you're offering the listeners?
So in the world where we do AI and immersive experiences, why can't we do that for mitigating actions to actually work out whether that scenario worked and then the what ifs? So we do all of this, but we just don't make it into a 3D dynamic experience for the team. You manage to get everyone in the team to have a role. Just like, suppose, murder mysteries, all these sort of games all simplify problem solving. So I find it really exciting. I think you might be able to tell that. But it gets people to think differently because they're in an environment that is vaguely familiar from childhood, but they're in the workplace. And we're very rarely allowed to just be ourselves in the workplace, especially in project controls where we have to control so many factors within the budget constraints, for example.
Awesome. I'd love to be in one of your risk workshops or risk reviews. It sounds really fun. Do we get like costumes to put on as well?
Oh, Jesus.
I've refrained from costumes now. But the risk workshops should be fun, and even whilst doing them remotely, they can still be fun and engaging. There is a lot of software out there to help that. But even just having treats for doing a good job, we all love the nostalgia of childhood sweets.
Yeah. We were actually just discussing today that, you miss the whole, I'll bring biscuits to the meeting so I can entice people to come, because you can't do that in the virtual world. So yeah, sweets will do as well.
That's true. That is true.
But it won't stop you involving games into the process. You just have to make it a bit harder.
No, absolutely. Val, what's your take on this gamification of risk?
I have to take the devil's advocate on this. So I'd love to know this, but don't give too much away, please. But what if, risk is generally pretty serious. There's consequences to risk. People say it's a serious business. What do you say to that? Have you got some, I guess, some notes and some pointers ready and armed for the Project Controls Expo?
Yeah, so yes, risk is serious, and I'm not detracting from that at all. But problem solving is actually about failing. And if you gamify things, you can fail without there being consequence. And you pick pieces up and you work out why that hasn't happened as you anticipated, and you can start doing iterations. So it mirrors lots of the risk management sort of processes, iterations. It helps, but if the term game is frowned upon, you just need to tweak the language, because most of the things we do are games. We just don't use that term.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point of view. I think the perspective you're going to provide the listeners and when you do your presentation is going to be fantastic, particularly in the risk space. I think Dale and I, when we read the title of this, we were already sold. So folks, I would definitely recommend even thinking about it. I think the thought, like you mentioned earlier, even kind of embracing the inner child and just having a bit of fun with the language around risk. I think it's a very dry topic that people try and avoid, and we need more people in risk. So how do you, and I think this is another great point, Charlotte, how do you get young people into risk management? I've seen a few, but they don't generally last very long. They tend to go into some other facets of project controls. So is this a way of attracting people to the sport of risk as well?
It does help because it's a different dynamic to how it's been seen on other projects. And that project team members actually saying, actually, risk isn't that bad. And I'm not traditionally a risk manager. I've originally trained as a lawyer and I've been a quantity surveyor. So I've done a variety of roles before getting risk. And it was, that looks more fun, but actually, is there a different way we can present this information?
That is so good. And, you know, there's a lot of people probably just listening to the podcast. They can't see the color of your hair right now, but it is literally bright. What color is it? Are you going to give it away?
It's bright red and neon pink.
Wow. With a QS and lawyer background. What color
it'll be by September.
Yeah, excellent. I won't give it away. It's fantastic that we've got someone like you trying to break the mold of risk and the framework and make it fun, engaging and enticing to be part of the risk kind of community, because it is a small community, I think, and they get a lot of bad rap. And so I think someone like yourself, just having a different perspective, you know, throwing a little bit of a different angle on the language that they might use is really great. I don't know if you want to say it now, but please just tell me no. How did you come up with this idea? Was it something you were playing games one day and you said, this would be great on risk management?
It's all about how you just get people to interact with you. We all like making friends. How do we make friends as children? We play games.
Perfect. Short and succinct. I love it. Dale, you?
Yeah, no, that is short and succinct. You actually stole my question. I was wondering how you came up with it, Charlotte, but that is brilliant. I mean, everything you do, those listening into this, just everything, just imagine it's a game. Imagine your kid, imagine the wonder, and all of a sudden, anything that is stressful or dry, as you put it, Val, might just become a little bit more exciting. But I wanted to ask you as well, Charlotte, have you actually implemented this? And can you share, or is that something you're going to share at the actual expo through your presentation? Is there something that your listeners can look forward to, perhaps, of where you've gone and went, right, this is too dry, stop doing that.
I have implemented it on a number of clients, mainly in the rail industry, which is also not known for its dynamic behaviours. So yeah, I've applied it on things like HS2 and other large rail infrastructure projects. And the first comment has been, we've never done it like this before. Oh, this is fun. And next month it'll be, can we play a game again? Well, you've done your identification. Let's do the next step. And if you're good, we will do some games again. But they remember the process.
That is awesome. So they remember the process. They enjoy the experience. Was the outcome different? Better, worse?
I have better engagement. People remember what they did, and they want to come to another risk identification workshop, which is always good news in my opinion.
No, that is absolutely amazing, because a lot of the times we say that risk is something that is viewed as a boxing exercise. People go to the risk review and it starts when they enter the room and ends when they leave it. And they go, yeah, we do risk management, but yet risk management is something we should constantly be doing. And now you've just given some people a mechanism to constantly remind themselves to go, actually, I should constantly be doing this because I remember that's fun. It's fun. So why not constantly do risk management? So that is truly amazing. Is this something that, I guess I'm just thinking around frameworks? Is there a certain framework that you come in and you can share, or is that something, again, you're going to be sharing at the expo with those coming along to listen to what you're going to say?
Yes, will be. It will be focused around ISO 31000.
But what I'm getting at is, are there any rules for this? Because all games, most games have sort of rules, right? Rules of engagement. Are there certain
Rules are very key for a game. Otherwise, not a game.
Yeah, so you're not going to share them now, right? You're gonna entice
No,
listeners
I'm
to come
not
along.
today, I'm afraid.
Good try,
Awesome.
though.
Listeners, I'm trying to dig as much as I can, but Charlotte is just putting up the walls. So, you got to get to her talk at the expo. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm hugely excited. This has been amazing. Quick little snippet about it. But Charlotte, before we end the podcast, is there anything you want to leave the listeners with?
That's a good one. I didn't expect a question. So I think that people should start thinking outside the box more than ever. Risk can become quite automated if we let it, and that stops the engagement. So always thinking outside the box, and games are fun.
Games are fun, ladies and gentlemen. Charlotte, Candy, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
We look forward to your presentation at the expo.
Thank you.